the home of the Mallee Stump. And rippin' good footy, the Mallee Football League.
Richo man, I want to be a richo man. I think we have scared off our regular correspondent Flo Man for Mallee Football. So Richardson, that's a name fairly synonymous with BDT, is it not?
I think, and Ben Hooper somewhere lost in West Australia or Darwin.
He's running scared. He knows we've got our informants on him and what he's been up to. So he's had to hand over the reins for a week just to get himself right.
Yeah, Joshy Richardson joins us, wonderful talent, male medalist. I've presented him the Flow FM Football of the Year too. Hey, Josh, how are you?
Yeah, well, thanks, fellas. Thank you.
Hey, I tell you what, we'll get into this very important thing. Where are you at the moment?
I am at the Tintinara establishment, Pacers, because the President's, seeing the sunshine, the warmth up in Darwin at the moment.
Gone AWOL and left you to do all the work the President has, including coming on the radio to do the Mallee Footy Report, and then to have to explain the fact that your brother Lockie last week played his 250th game in the big win for BDT, 20 goals, 12 over Murrayville, 9-11, Josh.
Yeah, no, it was a fantastic effort by Lockie. The boys got up at Canalpin and had a good day for him. It seemed to look like they lifted on the field anyway, and he's been a very, very good footballer for our club, that's for sure.
No doubt about that. He booted 3, so did Hawthorn, but that 1-2 punch up front for BDT, Barrett and Ward combined for 12, Barrett 7, Ward 5, Barrett, Prosser, Schultz, Manning, Crab, all named in the best. For Murrayville, Bailey booted 3, Vandenbos, he kicked a goal, McCarthy, Sumner, Hammond and O'Toole named in their best, along with that Spawn, who's very, very good.
Oh, yes.
They're a reasonable side, Murrayville, but BDT, too good for them. Other games, Flowman, what about the draw? Let's talk about that.
Oh, wasn't it a beauty? And Josh, 8-11-59, Karoonda, Peak 9-5-59. Peak can't buy a win from anywhere, but, gee, they got close.
Yeah, no, you're right there. They try their hardest every week. I just was going back through and having a bit of a look at things last week, and it's fantastic to see their kids like Max Peterick, who's having a really consistent year for a kid who he wouldn't be much over 18, I wouldn't think. So it's a credit to Peak for bringing their juniors up, and it's a credit to Max in the form he's in.
Indeed it is. They had this game dead to rights, Peak, at three-quarter time. They were the better part of 4 goals up, but they stormed home Karoonda to tie it all up at full time. Barrett booted 4 for Peak, and Peak booted 2. Blixarves named best for Peak, along with Peterick, Barrett and Druitt. Brown, he is a star for Karoonda, just best again. Adams, Mitchell and Micken named in their best as well.
Yeah, I reckon Mac Peterick and Nathan Brown out of this game, if they drew on the ground, they probably drew on the votes.
What, 2.5 each?
I reckon you'd have to do it because they are both in stunning form right now. I'll tell you what, in stunning form, it was Pinaroo 12-7-79, Lamoureux 11-9-75. But Joshy, I was at this game and we commentated it, the big Brucey and myself, and I can tell you now, Lamoureux did not look like at any time they're going to win this game until, I reckon, with about 30 seconds to play when they drew that close to Pinaroo and everyone at the ground went, heck, Lamoureux could win this.
Yeah, no, I've obviously got a couple of ex-BDT boys tied up with Lamoureux this year, and I was speaking to one of them during the week, and he was saying exactly the same thing, Wayne, that if there was another 5 minutes, they were pretty confident they would have overrun Pinaroo, but the siren got them in the end.
No doubt the Subaroos have come back to the pack a bit over the last month, but they were good enough to get the job done here in the end, despite some late jitters. So Keogh booted 2, Baker 2, Vince 2. They've got plenty of options to goal. Pinaroo, as we know. Lamoureux, Werner booted 3, their only multiple goal kicker. Keogh O'Driscoll, who is a star. Howard and Jordan named in their best. Kelly, Barrett, Ridgway and Benham for Lamoureux. They're better players.
I tell you now, Josh Richardson, you have played yourself, like Lockie in the 200s. I know your brother Clint played at Jervois and probably has played over 300. So between these 3 Richardson boys, I reckon you would have played nearly 800 games. Would that be about right, Joshy?
Yeah, that wouldn't be far off, Wayne, I don't reckon. Obviously Lockie 250 last week. Went sort of knocking on the door of 250 home and a few at Jervois, and I'm somewhere between 200 and 250 locally, I think, and a few in town. So, you'd be pretty close, I reckon.
Now, everybody knows that now I've got you because you never speak at the medal nights when I was there trying to present you with some award. I'm going to ask you, who's the best of the three Richardsons? Clearly everyone says you are.
Oh, I don't know about that, mate. I reckon we've all got our I don't know. We've all got our place, but it'll be hard. Put it this way, I reckon all three of us in one team were pretty good, that's for sure.
Who's best off ground? If you've played nearly 900 games between you, that's a few sips of the red tin over the journey, I reckon. Now, who's best off ground?
Oh, God, my middle brother Clint would take some beating anywhere, I reckon.
I'll tell you what, BDT takes some beating anywhere as we change to this week's games.
Yes, and you've got Karoonda at Tintinara, mate. You should win that.
Yeah, you'd hope so, fellas, but obviously Karoonda, they're up for the fight and they've got some very, very good footballers, and you guys harped on Brown earlier on. He's having an outstanding year and you've got to give him credit. He's coaching their team and playing through the midfield. He probably gets tagged every week, so to be coaching, getting tagged and playing the footy he is, you've got to take your hat off to him. Best on ground association game a couple of weeks ago too, so yeah, he's having a good year.
Walk-up start for the zone side. Probably one of the first half a dozen picked if he puts his hand up for state country honours too. He is a gun. Good to see Paik back in that side for Karoonda, but I think BDT will just have a bit too much up forward.
They will. Penaroo at home at that beautiful showground. It's a great location. Murrayville come across the border. I reckon they'll be let in this time, and they'll take on Penaroo in the battle of the border, Josh. Now, how do you see it? Can Murrayville muster up a win from somewhere out of the blue?
Well, hopefully this week Murrayville have a few more turn up for their B grade and A grade. They pulled a couple of fellas out. They only played 16 each last week, and they pulled a couple of fellas that were older than me out of the B grade to play in the A grade. So hopefully they can muster up a full side in the A grade and take it up to Penaroo, because they're a good team, and they're especially a good team at home. Penaroo full of good midfielders. You got to keep your eye on O'Driscoll, and if O'Driscoll's killing you, well, then Jenner's going well. So, yeah, no, they're a damaging midfield team, Penaroo, that's for sure.
Yeah, O'Driscoll, Keogh, Maroney. They go deep, don't they? And then there's a couple of one, Werfel. Werfel can play too. I was absolutely stunned. They got six midfielders. It reminded me of BDT actually back when Jake Keller was playing with you Richardson boys. It's just that same, if one didn't get you one week, the other one would. I reckon that's about it, isn't it, Josh?
Yeah, no, you're dead right there, Wayne. They've recruited really well, Penaroo, this year, and that's it. They're full of tall people. That's just natural out that way, and they've recruited a few good midfielders, and if it's not one doing well, it's someone else. So when you come up against Penaroo, it's not a matter of stopping Keogh or Driscoll, because there's three other guys that can pop up and play well too there.
Lameroo, they will host Peak in the last match of the round for us to talk about. Peak couldn't quite get the job done last week. Lameroo, the same sort of story for them. Lameroo will go in as favourites here, though they should beat Peak if they're anywhere at the peak of their powers. But who knows with the Lions?
Yeah, no, I agree with that exactly, fellas. I would tip Lameroo if I was to hesitate and pick one, that's for sure. But you never know. Peak obviously rocked up last weekend and were really competitive against Karoonda, and they're just right on the edge of getting their first victory, that's for sure. But yeah, I can't see them beating Lameroo. Lameroo a little bit like Penaroo, I reckon. They've got a really good midfield group there, fairly young, fairly fit, very skillful. And they move the ball through the centre very well and hit up their big full forward, Willie Werner. So, yeah, I can't see Peak winning, but I think it'll be closer than what you think.
Yeah. All right, that's where we'll wrap it. Well done, Richo. Good to have you come off the bench, mate. All the best for the weekend. And give Hoops plenty for us when he does get back. We'll see if we can chat to him again next week.
No worries. Thanks for having me, guys.